Don't think because you've never worked in a healthcare setting before that you cannot be a carer. You just arrived in the UK. Maybe back home you were a tailor, you worked as a receptionist, you were working as a sales girl or a sales boy. You know, you have never worked in the hospital or maybe in the community setting where they take care of old people, or maybe in a motherless baby home, any setting where people who are not very okay are being taken care of. If you have not worked in any of those settings and you find yourself in the UK, you think it will be difficult for you. No, it is not always like that. The only question you need to ask yourself is this: have you ever in any way cared for somebody? What do I mean? Have you ever in any way cared for your brother, your sister, your mom, your grandmom, your granddad? People from African background, by nature, we are all carers because we care for our moms, our elderly people, without expecting anything in return. We do it because they gave birth to us. It is our duty to care for them, right? So, whenever you go for interview and they ask you, what skills are you bringing to the table? Just tell them, I have not worked in a formal healthcare setting before, but I have cared for somebody. I have cared for my mom. And how did I care for her? She was very sick. We took her to the hospital. I was the one staying with her in the hospital, making sure that she's taking her medication, making sure that I give her wash, making sure I keep her company. If you don't want to, if it's not in the hospital, if you took care of her at home, tell them that you make sure she have her bath, make sure she eats, you keep her company so she don't get bored, make sure you engage her to do something so she will not feel like, oh, because she's sick she can no longer do anything. You make sure that she don't forget to take her medication, you make sure you don't forget her hospital appointment, so you always take her to the hospital. You make sure that your mom never feel like she doesn't have any reason to exist anymore just because she's sick. Tell them all the things you did for your mom and tell them that you were understanding and patient with her because sometimes she can be, too demanding. Sometimes she can refuse care. She will refuse to have her medication. She will refuse to eat. Tell them that you are the one that provide food for her. Make sure that she's able to eat. The day she cannot eat, you feed her. Tell her all these things. These are things we do in care. Okay, so that things are transferable skills that you are gonna bring. They are transferable skills because if you have cared for somebody, you feed them, you make sure they take their medication, go for hospital appointment, you keep them company, you are patient with them, you protect them, you you make sure that nobody took advantage of them because they are sick. This is what we do in care. We come in the morning, we give personal care. We wash them, shower. You do the same thing for your mom. We make food for them, breakfast. You do the same thing for your mom. We protect them, make sure they are free from any form of abuse, anything that can cause them harm. You do the same thing for your mom. So this is what we do in care. The only thing is that you have to put it in a professional way, just like the way I have just answered, and tell them. You don't need to fake it to say, oh, I have worked in the hospital, whereas you have not worked and you're not able to defend it. Some people are smart to use their little knowledge to defend, but it is good to come out open. I have not, but I have done things like this. And care is care everywhere. And you are open to learning. You learn new things. No recruitment manager will see someone who is very clear, open-minded, who is so honest, who have not done this care in a formal setting, but they have had experience because they cared for somebody one way or the other, and they will not hire you. It does not always work like that. Sometimes people who think they have wealth of experience and knowledge go for interview. Someone who have not, had that formal experience will get that job and the other person will be rejected. Honesty, sincerity. I hope this helps. If you have any question, feel free to ask me in the comment section.